If you go live, I can post the link to
It's
the.
live now.
Oh, you're live. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Where do I find the link for it again? Where do I find the link
it should be under the live stream, shouldn't it?
I should just open YouTube and find it. Stupid link. Copy link. No. Whatever, they'll just find it anyway. Alright.
Description. I don't know. Very nice. Here, share. I'm gonna press share.
Okay, go ahead.
Tweet.
Do that.
Yeah. That.
I'll just
okay.
retweet you. That'll work just fine.
Okay.
I'm new to this, so it's gonna take me a little bit to get used to this. Where are you at? Profile. No.
Wait, what's your Twitter handle? I can't remember.
It's American Populist. We're friends, so you can just hit the followers and find me really easily.
I accidentally made it a populist union.
That's fine.
With Vince Dow and all those guys. There we go. Alright, I tweeted it out.
Alright, retweet it. Alright, there we go.
Very, very nice.
Alright. Now that cringe's out of the way, what do you want to talk about, man?
Man, we could talk about like how the right can actually be optical and stuff. It's like, I don't know, like the right needs to mature, I think, is one thing we could talk about.
Yeah, definitely we could talk about maturity. And not being cringe.
Not being cringe.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the game set up first, or what are we going to do? I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God. Let me see if I get my Steam working real quick. I could probably play CS:GO, and we could just talk while I do play that.
Okay.
Whatever. My Steam will load. Load. Oh.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, it's not working. Okay. It's just not going to work for me today.
Yeah, we could, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too big into Among Us.
Okay, we'll just talk then.
Okay.
My Steam's not working for some reason. My Steam's not.
Yeah, that happened.
What's up,
I
Tuesday?
understand. Is Tuesday in the chat?
Good. Yeah, he is.
Based. I wanted to get his take on the whole, I don't remember, the Independent States program. I sent him DMs in Discord, but I don't know, he never responded.
I gotta ask him, hey, Tuesday, did you get the DMs that Professor sent you? You can respond in chat.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
left.
That's funny. Yeah, maybe he went to Discord to like see the messages. I don't know.
Probably.
That's funny.
Let me see if he is there real quick. Let me see if
he is. Yeah.
You can just keep talking while I look for him.
Yeah, so gee, man, I don't know. I think, wait, he might have DM'd me. No, okay. We've
no, he's not on Discord. Okay, never mind.
We're in a weird situation right now. We kind of really jumped into this quick, but it's a work in progress. So when let's see.
That's true. Yep.
I mean, we could talk about optics. All like that would be great, and then localism.
So Culver's
How?
apparently is more.
What was that?
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about localism. Go ahead. Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about
So,
localism.
yeah, localism. So I think people need to understand
Oh,
that
DC
the
in
right.
chat.
David's in chat.
What's up, DC? Oh yeah, he is.
Yo,
Yeah, look.
hey, how's it going,
Yeah.
man? That's
Yeah, it's
base.
our first stream,
That's
so it's gonna be cringe. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
well, gee, this is so funny. I can't believe this. All right, so optics and localism and all this. It's like
Yeah.
I don't. This is so weird. We were able to talk so freely before we were live, and now we're live, and this is like, oh man. So
I know.
yeah. So
Let's talk about
localism.
the policies though that John talked about in this video.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That probably entails a little bit of localism too.
Yes. Let's talk about the plastic one. That one's pretty interesting. That's something that we could easily push.
Yeah, definitely. So how would we push that? Well, thing is that it's going to be it'll be put off as this conspiracy. Uh, so that might be a little bit of a hard one to push, but I mean, I'm not in the health stuff that much. I don't know much about it, but I do know that people don't want their kids eating crap, and essentially, the one way we could market it to people is like, kids eating healthy food and all this stuff, and like, I mean, the problem is that's going to be a hard one for people to believe.
It is, but there's a ton of studies that back up the facts about the plastic chemicals and these preservatives used in foods. But what they do to hormones.
Yeah, the thing is though, like I have a feeling people would view those studies as fake. They'd treat it like global warming, like it's like there was a video I watched. It was made by some liberal college students, and they showed some woman. She took one study from there being, not being global warming versus all these other studies showing that there was global warming, and like she believed that one, and she was marketed as a conspiracy theorist. um I don't know. This is so funny.
Yeah, that's a good point, DC. What I'm talking about with the plastic thing was John Doyle talked about in this latest video that people, on average, like ingest one credit card a week in plastic. That is what it does to your testosterone levels. That's what I was referring to, but the studies on that have been well known for a long time.
Yeah, that's going to be hard though to get people to believe.
Well, we could try to frame it in an environmentalist sense.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that is true. You could make it like, hey, why is there plastic in this food? The less plastic there is in the food, the less plastic there is in the, atmosphere and the environment and all that. That's definitely true.
Yeah, and it would definitely have a double effect of helping us out because messing with the hormones is pretty unbased of your nation.
Yeah, definitely. So what was another one of his policies?
We need a First Amendment for the new public town square.
Yeah, that one, that we're going to have to leave up to lawsuits in a lot of ways. But no one, especially at what they realized after last year, was that the town square was the internet. There were a lot of liberals who were like, "Hey, I realize this now, and I realize that people's speech can't be banned." How you'd market that exactly? I mean, you don't really have to market that. You just have to say that people's speech matters and stuff.
Yeah, so true. The people who get it, and people who don't don't. They're very cringe.
Mm.
What's
Mm.
another one of the points that John talked about? Oh, woke tax propaganda. We need a
Uh,
woke tax and at least like $1 million on everything that they put out.
yeah, no, I agree. As to how you would market that, I have a feeling people, the libertarian types, will always never understand, and they will always prefer the idea of small government not taxing agencies and whatnot.
Yeah, so true. Of course, there will never be a small government. That's a fantasy. There'll always be government with people who want to be governed.
Mm. Yes, yeah, power. I think John Doyle said power does not exist in a vacuum. Power just manifests. It will be there. So if you have small government per se, but you are a huge capitalist nation, who has the control now? The money has the control. The businesses have the control. And like power manifests. Social media companies, they have the power in this so-called small government we have.
Yeah, it's not really a small government though. Business and government are working together so much that it's indistinguishable.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I think David left the chat. Rip.
Yeah, rip. But hey, he graced us with his presence, so that's a good
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he put us in the thing was nice. The Discord. Um, so, yeah, I definitely agree. A woke tax, though, we just really have to Doyle pill people and show them that, like, power manifests, power will be there. I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely need good people wielding power because you're always going to have people wielding power. This fantasy that we're just going to live in this libertarian utopia where when we live in a small government, there's not going to be this big power structure is just wrong. There's always going to be power.
Mm.
You need base people wielding the power, though. Otherwise, you get the situation right now where you have what do we call them? The left wielding all the power
The
and just
Globo
force,
Homo.
yeah, global homo forcing their everything down our throats, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think the question is now, how would you convince people that power manifests? And I would just say that you show them that, I mean, look how much power Walmart has, or businessman A, businessman B, etc.
Yeah, these businesses have more power than the government. I mean, I think here's an example that I heard one time. At the very beginning of the lockdown, I forgot what state it was. Maybe it was Arkansas or something. They like put down this mask mandate when that was starting, and nobody followed it. And then Walmart mandated everyone wearing masks, and suddenly everybody complied, which shows you who has the power. You still there, man? You there, man? Presser? Okay. Let me try to re-add you back to the chat. Sorry, guys. Very cringe moment there. Yeah, very cringe. I know it's very sad. It's very sad. Hang on. Let me see if you can rejoin. If you can't rejoin P, try again. Just refresh your internet connection.
Okay.
You back, man?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, totally. Okay, great. Wait, what the frick?
Here we are.
Okay, whatever.
That was funny.
Yeah, very boomer con there moment. But about let's get back to the mask mandates and the people following the private company madness. DC recently pointed that out in chat. Very good point he made there. But it really just shows you that these libertarians are living in this fantasy where they think
Yeah.
that government is the source of all power. Wake up, like it's the 21st century here, where these giant monopolies control the power. Facebook, Twitter, Google have more power than any government probably has in the history of the world right now. And it's just fantasy of these libertarians to still push this propaganda that we do otherwise. Professor P, turn off your face cam.
Yeah. Is my microphone there?
No, your face cam is turned off.
No, sorry, I don't know how I did that. I've got my thing covered
Okay,
up
there
in
you go.
the
You're
dark.
back.
Sorry, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is my first stream ever.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're gonna have a lot of BoomerCon moments here. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track. Okay, what's their point? John Doyle made
power manifesting. Where were we?
We were talking about power manifesting in the private
the pro-family.
Oh yeah,
we were also
pro-family.
talking. I think one thing John Doyle talked about. Pro-family, yes.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue we need to be pushing a lot more than we are right now. We could definitely be pushing that in a lot of these local states like Alabama, Mississippi, where we have complete power. We should be incentivizing more for families to have kids than we already do.
Yeah.
We do have some tax incentives, but it isn't enough. We're currently below replacement birth rate, which justifies the mass immigration problem.
Yes. This one honestly is not going to be that hard to market to people. The only thing you're going to get though is like, this is anti. You're probably going to get a few things that say it's anti-women and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, my recording stuff was all falling apart. I had to fix it.
Yeah, with Sapnosa all at one point.
Yeah. So, pro-family. What would you do there besides making stuff cheaper? I mean, you have to fix jobs, right? That's one thing that would be pro-family.
Yeah, definitely. Stop shipping the jobs overseas. Quit with the H-1B visa worker program. Encourage local manufacturing.
Yes, in general, I'm making cost of living cheaper. So that's essentially another thing would be immigration, just immigration regulation to the extreme level. Jobs can't be taken away from Americans and all that stuff. And I guess pro-family would also be work in the schools. There are certain families who are discriminated for their beliefs, specifically Christian beliefs nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
What policy would you push to do that, though? That's my question.
Well, with the school problem, the schools have been infiltrated for a long time and are basically propaganda institutes for our enemies at this point. So a great thing we could suggest there would be to get rid of the critical race theory and these leftist indoctrination tactics in the schools, which we have been doing pretty successfully recently because we've been pushing that issue on the right. And pretty based people on the right, like Ron DeSantis and others, have recently banned critical race theory in public schools, which is a great first step. But we need to go a lot more. The white narrative, white people are bad, oppressors, slavery, 1619 Project narrative also needs to be totally cannibalized. It needs to be gutted out of the public school system.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe, well, one thing would be the firing of teachers, who discriminate against people for their beliefs. Like, I saw the other day some woman teacher, it was so immature of her too to do this regardless, but she was giving out cupcakes to all the trans and gay people in her class, and none of the straight people could have it though. She lost her job, which was amazing. She deserved it. Yeah, so the firing of teachers, the taxing of schools, maybe, and we can set our own curriculum in states, and we can even get on our own school boards and set curriculums and stuff. It's not very hard to, get elected to a easy position.
Oh yeah, definitely the school board, local positions, the city council. They're very easy and accessible for people like our people to. And there's very few people who vote in these. Only like the local people who care about these issues even vote in them.
In a
It would
school,
be very
and
easy
that's
for
important. And
us.
maybe convincing your parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Mayors also have a good power too.
Yeah, but that was another thing you talked about with the patriotic education. I like what Texas recently proposed with their patriotic Texan education system. That needs to be something we need to push across every single red state. That needs to be statewide.
Mm. Yeah, and we need to the way we need to sell that to libertarians because they're going to view that as indoctrination. It's going to be like it's not indoctrination because it's telling the truth. If we could just tell the truth about our history, then we wouldn't have people hating their country.
Yeah, so true. We need to get rid of this anti-American history curriculum, which is basically mandated now in the public school system, and replace it with a patriotic education. Because your kids are going to be
Mm.
indoctrinated one way or another. That's the way these libertarians. We need to sell this argument to libertarians, I guess. Would be that your kids are going to be indoctrinated one way or another. And it's the left right now who controls that. So, are you happy with the way things are right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like what it's the thing about their whole indoctrination argument. It's like me giving my kid a Bible is the same as indoctrinating him. It's like what? That's essentially what they're saying. Me teaching my kid is, it's like this is why I've no hope for libertarians most of the time.
Yeah, libertarian is very cringe.
They're our biggest problem. They're why we're so immobile. They're just a bunch of Ben Shapiro subscribers, essentially.
Yeah, they've co-opted the right along with neocons, the Trotskyists. We should be calling them Trotskyists. We shouldn't be calling them neocons. That's where they came from, the Soviet Union. Why are we even calling them neocons? That gives them way too much credit than they deserve. They
They're
need to be called
not.
Trotskyists.
Yeah, they're definitely not conservative at all. They're Yeah, definitely not. And another thing we need to tell libertarians is that the nature of having anything liberal is that it has to get more left. As with something that is conservative, is that it has to stay a certain way. It can't get more radical one way, or less radical, or I mean, more radical to the left because that's not conserving it. It's changing. So that's one thing we need to get through their thick skulls.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Yeah, David says that attacking neocons for being Trotskyists is like attacking Tucker Carlson for supporting the Iraq War. I mean, I suppose he has a little bit of a point there.
Yeah, it's true. There's probably a better way to attack them.
I mean,
Framing them.
yeah, I mean, a better way. What would be a better way? Just just showing them that liberal philosophy continues to ratchet to the left, and it gets faster every time. It has to get faster, you know.
Oh yeah, this is so true. David DC in his latest video when he talked about Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin is probably a grifter. I recommend you guys check out that video where he talked about Dave Rubin's path from being a far left progressive to where he is right now, which is basically a Ben Shapiro-esque conservative in quotation marks there. And he talked about how the left has gone too far and they're not progressive, they're regressive now. Wrong. That's how leftism is always going to go. Leftism is a philosophy which seeks total power. It's not going to stay this classical liberalism philosophy forever, Dave Rubin. Wrong. That's not how things work in reality. Did you have something to add there?
I was going to say is that another thing we could tell libertarians who aren't totally mad yet is like pointing to Caitlyn Jenner, right? Caitlyn
Yeah.
Jenner. It's, I mean, you know, Bruce Jenner, I'm gonna say, but I don't know. I have a
Yeah,
feeling
based.
that
Go ahead there. You're cutting out. Say it again. Okay. Try to rejoin, Professor. You cut out for a second. You back, man? Are you back, Professor? Message me in Discord if you're back. Let me know if you're back. More BooberCon tech issues. Sorry, guys. It's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional indeed. Are you back, man? Hey,
can you hear
Professor.
me?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you
me?
now. Are you back?
Okay. Yes, I can. I'm back.
Sorry, sorry, we're having so many boomer tech issues right now. It's our first time, so it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's a learning process. It's in the making. What did John Doyle say about his new studio? I don't remember, but it works here. So
Yeah, it's a work in progress. But let's get back to the issues they were talking about in localism. Well, what's the last thing John Doyle talked about?
so pro family, pro America. Man, I could get a list from the boys. One moment, let me get a list.
Okay, get the
But
list.
on localism again, running for these positions is like very nice in a way. It's like, oh, another thing on localism. You don't even have to run for a position. In your church youth group, you can join and you can talk about important issues. You know, like something that's not brought up near enough in the church that I rarely hear is pornography addiction. There's also the problems on social media that we see. So joining a youth group and bringing this up to a youth pastor can be like one of the most effective ways to make change in your community.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going back on the porn issue, that's something that we need to talk about as well. That needs to be knocked out. That is a source of degeneracy and infiltration right there that needs to be cut out. Like the cancer that it is on society. And this whole
Yeah, we wouldn't
libertarian
even.
art. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I wanted to hear what you had to say about libertarians.
Oh yeah, they're gonna say, "Well, it's freedom, man. You gotta allow it. People are just gonna do what they do as long as it doesn't encroach on me. I'm okay with it." Okay, well the problem is that it does affect other people's lives because that's how it reflects on society. And this whole idea that they're not going to put that in public is wrong. It's going to be put out in public, is what I was trying to say there.
Mm, mm. Yeah, we wouldn't even have to sell that to young men. Young men would see that and they're like, they know that it's ruining their life. The effectiveness of the Coomer meme and the Chad meme show this. I mean, it's so funny that memes reflect better on this society than a lot of things, but we wouldn't even have to work to sell that one. That's why John Doyle's video has gotten so many views.
Oh yeah, it's gotten like 200,000 views. It's a very epic. I recommend you watch that video if you haven't. But people on our side have. They know why porn is bad. But what we need to do on a local level is that we need to block it, basically. Like have Coven Eyes mandated across the South, every state that we control.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard. Another way we could do that, localism, schools,
Sorry, speak up, man.
discourage it,
Kind of cut
even
out for
just
a second.
discouraging the use of technology with parents. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like working through schools to make schools, limit the use of technology among the students, working through a church to help the young people in that, maybe the youth program, to not watch pornography. There's ways we can do that. You know.
Definitely, we just need to shame people who watch it. Call them gay, call them coomers. Like, another thing that we need to do is stop pretending that it's just okay for men to watch this disgusting stuff. It's not. It's not freedom. This is not what the founding fathers wanted.
Yeah, I brought that up. I didn't bring that up in my article, but I wrote an article about insecurity and how the acceptance movement has, uh, you know, made all these things okay, and the acceptance movement is just insecurity that is co-opted for their use. So the Coomer stuff, the cope that, oh, well, you're gonna get prostate cancer and all this stuff, and actually it's good for my stress and blah 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 blah. What this is, it's insecure people who don't want to open their heart to Jesus, who just want to feel accepted in life. And if you don't see that as someone who's easy to bully, then I mean, I don't know, you got to have your eyes closed.
Yeah, so true, so true. Oh, and another thing that we need to be pushing on a local level is sex education needs to be ripped out of every school. I don't care what it
So
is, it needs
true.
to go. It's another form for the left to indoctrinate your kids. It's another
So
tool
true.
for the enemy.
So true. Yeah, that's how would you sell that? Well, I mean, gee, do you want your kids learning about a penis in school when they're 8 years old? It's like that's not hard to sell. The pornography thing is not hard to sell, luckily enough, and that's going to be probably the greatest win we can have, is banning pornography. You know,
Yeah,
I'd
the
say that would help.
cascading effect from that would be like winning like 3 major battles in a war. Because the weakening of men has helped the left in so many ways that cannot be said right now. The cucking of men, the pussification, it has to stop.
Yeah. I mean, that we could just, the Chad meme is a sign of what men think of that, with the soy Wojak as its counterpart.
Yeah, another thing, we need to like ban like soy from being put in food. Like honestly, at this point, it's it's at that level.
We need to, but first we need to get into power.
Yeah, definitely power. And let's talk about local power for a second, because your local city council, your sheriff, your mayor, these are positions very easy for us to get in to.
Yeah, and that one, to say, like, that one's fulfilling. It's like you're connected with your community more than anything, and going out and talking to people in your town and whatnot, and finding out their ailments and their needs. That's what you run on, and then you just plug in this, and then you plug in that, and once you've gotten power, and you're on a train track to victory.
Yeah. As John Doyle, and we always talk about the long march to the institutions, how did that start? It started on the local level.
I used to be one of those people who didn't believe that getting into a school board would work, possibly because I was homeschooled, but I now see it's like that's the way you do it.
Yeah, homeschooling kids would be ideal, but parents in our society, the 2-income household, have to work just to raise a family, which is something that we just need to address as well.
Yeah. Gee, what's the ailment besides the economic factor of the modern American family? What would you say it is? Because I think I have a decent idea.
The men aren't masculine enough, number one. They're cucks. They would do whatever their woman says. Number two, that's a big problem with men. They're not religious enough. That's a problem. Society encourages bad, encourages people to be unhealthy and encourages mental illness.
That's the acceptance movement for you. That's what I wrote about in my article.
Yeah, John Doyle said it so perfectly. The left is mass mobilization of mental illness.
So true. I would say that the ailment of the modern American family, it's going to vary on who you ask. The ailment of, per se, the father of the home is going to be the fact that his wife controls him. It's going to be the fact that his children hate him, and his children hate him for the fact that not only did they improperly raise him, which, by the way, I'd like to speak about, not only did he improperly raise them, but when he had the chance to, he kind of sat back and let his wife do it because he was too weak. I'd say the ailment of the son is that he's addicted to pornography. His mom is a whore. His sister's a feminist. I mean, this is why we see so many young men flocking to Fuentes, because he's relatable problem-wise. Another ailment the son will have is the economic factor, that he doubts he's going to be able to get ahead, and he feels that he's going to be sitting in his parents' basement. And the ailment of the daughter, well, I mean, she's not the brightest bulb, but she's probably thinking something along the lines of feminism. But a rational daughter, she's going to feel that men are too weak. That's going to be her ailment.
Yeah, the lack of masculine men in the household is a big problem. We need a program that rewards men for being masculine at this point.
We call that social media. You post you post you getting ripped. That's what we call that. You get social media gratification for posting pics of your abs.
Yeah, so true, so true. But we need a policy or something that rewards men for doing that. Chads.
Yeah, I think Tuesday just he said marriage is only for the upper class, which yeah, I would say that another ailment is that people don't feel they can get married. In fact, many people don't want to get married. It's like this responsibility. And on the thing I was talking about with
Sorry, go ahead, you cut out. Oh, come on, not more.
this guy said,
Sorry, you cut out for a second. Can
he
you reset
learned
what you said?
going to have
You cut out, Professor.
the
Professor, you cut out
same
for a
issue,
second.
you know.
Cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. Can you reset what you just said?
Where was
Okay.
hello?
Unplug your mic and replug it back in because you're having some issues.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you have that fixed. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Yeah, DC, that's so true. We definitely need to promote masculinity more.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, you're back. But DC just said something that's really important I wanted to talk about, where he said everyone wants to climb up to it. It really comes down to a social battle,
Dude,
not really a
can you hear me?
program. Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there, man?
This is so bad.
It is really bad. I'm sorry for everyone watching. I can hear you now. We're back. I cringe, but we're back.
Mm.
Yeah, I want to get back to what DC was just saying there. Promoting masculinity, traditional masculinity. And
I'm
another
in
way
the
we could do
studio,
that,
right? Because I can't hear you. Is your mic muted?
Are you back, man? Can you hear me?
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. Are you back? Yeah, this is a disaster. Okay, I think we're going to end the live stream right now. Thank you guys for
Right.
watching. Really
Okay.
appreciate it. We'll be doing this weekly. Sorry for all the boomer tech issues. I'm gonna have to mute you for a second. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Really sorry. We'll be fixing that though. We'll be doing this once a week. Me and Professor P. We'll have other guests, but we'll talk about these issues. Thank you guys for watching. Sub to my channel. Sub to Professor P. Yeah, thank you, DC. Yeah, it was a good conversation without the testing issues, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later.